The observation deck of the Dominion warship Talon's Edge hummed with anticipation. Commander Threx Var stood with his forearms crossed behind his chitinous back, his compound eyes fixed on the transparent barrier separating him from the testing chamber below. Around him, a dozen officers of various species, scaled, furred, crystalline, waited in tense silence. "Bring in the human," Threx commanded, his mandibles clicking with satisfaction. The Galactic Dominion had encountered humans only 3 cycles ago. These strange bipedal mammals from a world they called Earth had applied for membership in the interstellar community, claiming they were peaceful explorers. Threx didn't believe in peaceful species. Every race in the Dominion had earned their place through strength, through proving they could withstand the galaxy's cruelties. The humans would be no different. The chamber door hissed open. Lieutenant Mara Solon stepped inside, her brown hair tied back in a simple knot, her uniform crisp despite 3 days of detention. She looked around the bare metal room with calm curiosity, noting the cameras, the reinforced walls, the smell of something wild and predatory. "Lieutenant Solon," Threx's voice boomed through the speakers, "you have claimed your species is suitable for Dominion membership. We shall see. Every species must face the fear trial. Survive and we will consider your application. Fail." His mandibles spread in what might have been a smile. "Well, there has never been a failure who lived to complain." Mara looked up at the observation window, squinting against the light. "What exactly does this trial involve, Commander?" "You will see soon enough, human," Threx gestured with one clawed hand. From a reinforced door on the opposite side of the chamber, 3 creatures emerged. They were Krylox cubs, each the size of a human child, covered in midnight black scales that absorbed light, with multiple rows of serrated teeth visible even in their juvenile jaws. Their 6 legs moved with predatory grace and their eyes glowed amber with hunting instinct. In 2 years, these cubs would grow into apex predators capable of ripping through starship hulls. For now they were merely dangerous enough to test fear responses. Most species fled. The brave ones fought. None had ever shown anything but terror. The cubs spotted Mara immediately. Their eyes locked onto her and they began their hunting approach. Low, spreading out to flank, their tails sweeping side to side with anticipation. In the observation deck, several officers leaned forward. A Zephyrian counselor whispered, "She's going to run." They always run, but Mara didn't run. She sank slowly to her knees, making herself smaller, less threatening. Her hands remained visible, open and empty. She made a soft sound, not quite a whistle, not quite a hum, something melodic and gentle. Threx's antennae twitched. "What is she doing?" The cubs paused, confused by behavior that didn't match any prey pattern they'd been trained to recognize. The closest one, a female with a scar across her snout, crept forward, hackles raised, testing the strange creature. Mara didn't move. She kept humming that odd, soothing sound. She'd grown up on a farm in Montana, where they'd raised everything from horses to rescue wolves. She'd learned young that predators could sense fear like a scent, and that calm was contagious. The scarred cub came within striking distance, its jaws opened, revealing rows of crystalline teeth. Officers in the observation deck held their breath. Then Mara did something unprecedented. She slowly extended her hand, palm down, fingers relaxed, and held it steady, not reaching toward the cub but offering, waiting. "She's insane," someone muttered. The cub sniffed. Its nostrils flared, taking in the scent of this human. Mammalian, warm-blooded, tinged with something the translators couldn't quite capture. Something that smelled like pack, like care, like safety. The cub's tongue, rough and black, flicked out and licked Mara's fingers. Threx's mandibles snapped shut in shock. Emboldened by its sibling's action, the second cub approached. Then the third. Within moments, all 3 Krylox cubs were pressing against Mara, their tails wagging in a way their handlers had never seen. The scarred female actually rolled onto her back, exposing her vulnerable underbelly, the ultimate sign of trust in Krylox behavior. Mara smiled and began to gently scratch behind the female's jaw ridge, where the scales met softer tissue. The cub's eyes half closed in pleasure, and a rumbling purr emanated from her chest cavity. "Commander," the Zephyrian counselor said quietly, "in 15 years of conducting fear trials, I have never witnessed this response. The cubs they're bonding with her." Threx couldn't look away. His primary mind struggled to process what his eyes were seeing. while his secondary brain ran through tactical scenarios. Humans were either the most foolish species in the galaxy, or they possessed something the Dominion had never encountered. Mara looked up at the observation window, a cub draped across her lap like an oversized, scaly puppy. "Commander, permission to speak?" Threx activated the communication link. "Granted. On my world, we have a saying. All creatures understand kindness. We've domesticated predators far older than your Dominion. Wolves became dogs. Wildcats became companions. We don't conquer through fear, Commander. We win through trust." She scratched behind another cub's ear ridge. "These cubs aren't testing my fear. They're testing whether I'm safe. And I am." The largest cub, a male who would one day command his own hunting pack, climbed up Mara's shoulder and nuzzled against her neck. His claws carefully retracted. Threx felt something shift in his understanding of the universe. The Dominion had spent millennia building power through intimidation, through proving who was strongest, most fearsome, most dangerous. They'd created fear trials because they believed survival meant being harder than the galaxy. But this human, this Lieutenant Mara Solon, had shown something different. She'd turned predators into protectors with nothing but patience and calm. She'd weaponized compassion. "End the trial," Threx commanded quietly, as the handlers entered to retrieve the cubs, who whined and resisted leaving Mara. Threx made a decision. He opened a channel to the Dominion Council. "This is Commander Threx Var. I am recommending immediate acceptance of humanity's application. They have passed the fear trial in a manner that suggests we have much to learn from them." He paused, watching Mara give each cub a final pat before they were led away. "They do not conquer fear. They transform it, and that, council members, may be the most powerful ability in the galaxy." In the chamber, Mara stood and brushed scale dust from her uniform, humming softly to herself. The same melody she'd used to calm horses in Montana, wolves in recovery centers, and now, alien predator cubs light years from home. Some species survived through fear, humans thrived through connection, and the galaxy would never be the same.